Paladin here on this beautiful weekend. This is probably take 57. If you're seeing this, at least it's working, and that's all that matters. But I gotta inform you, there's not going to be any helicopter videos, no silly hashtags, and no subliminal music. So if that's what you're here for, you're in the wrong channel. See you later. All right, let's get right into this. I want to just talk briefly about the Clark County, Nevada Coroner Medical Examiner FAQ section. Violence. This is when state and county laws determine that the coroner needs to be involved to determine cause and manner of death. Violence, that includes homicides and suicides. That's in our wheelhouse as far as the purported shooting in Las Vegas on October 1st, 2017. Final determination will be based on the following information. Initial investigation. This is basically information, evidence collected at the scene, and then the medical exam, which includes an external examination and an autopsy. This is a complete physical exam internally as well as externally. It's conducted on the decedent, which includes a thorough exam of each organ and, if necessary, microscopic examination of the organs. This is called histology. This is done, the internal is done with the Y incision on the body. They take the organs out, they weigh them, they section some parts of the organs and send them off if they think they need to get microscopic exams done, biopsies and that kind of thing. Okay, so let's just keep this in mind internally. That's an autopsy by their own definition. Okay, all right, now let's get into the spreadsheet. All right, this is the autopsy master. This is the spreadsheet that I created, and I've got columns A, B, C, and D not shown. A is the autopsy number, B is the fit report number, C is the fit location, and D is the identification of the body and the person. So I'm not going to show that today, I don't think. Just not going to do it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not about that per se. Later on, maybe down the road, we might get into some details on certain people. But I think just going through this will tell you all you need to know about the autopsies. Okay, I'm scrolling down to the bottom here. I just want to show the legend, the doctor legends, because we'll be using this, going through all this. JC is Dr. Cornel. AM is Dr. Marzouk, LR is Dr. Recaro, LS is Dr. Sims, JH is Dr. Hodge, and PU is Dr. Uribe. Now let's go. I want to just show you here. This is by doctor, and this pretty much is in alphabetical order. Not alphabetical order. Well, yeah, I guess it is, because I did it sorted by B column. So anyway, we've got Dr. Marzouk, Dr. Cornel, Dr. Hodge, Dr. Rocaro, Dr. Sims, and Dr. Uribe, and it looks like it's sorting them by the first letter. Anyway, so this is what we got. So if you look at this all the way out, it's got all the information, as you can see. There's probably other information I could put in there, but I think we're looking at, looks like about 31. We're looking at about 31 columns. Okay, now I want to get into the autopsies. All right, now this first one, I just want to give you an idea of what it should look like, okay? Just so we can compare to the other ones. All right, so we've got a date of death and a date of the examination, and we've also got a time. This is good. Now here's where the name of the person goes, the case number. Of course, they've gotten that. They've taken that out, blacked that out, so we can't see who the people are, which is problematic in and of itself. Okay, so the reason for jurisdiction: apparent homicide by gunshot wound, mass fatality event. All right, now this is Dr. Marzouk. I can tell you that now. Let me go down and grab his name off of this so we can prove that. Okay, this is Dr. Marzouk. So he gives us the information, the reason for the jurisdiction. Okay, and he refers to the event number. All right, so you'll see that on the fit report. Now, the identification, he determines that the decedent was placed into a body bag and sealed with a coroner's seal. He's got the number, which we can't see, He was transported, the decedent was transported to the coroner for further exam. The body is identified by a medical examiner's identification toe tag on the right great toe, bearing the decedent's name and case number. Okay, witnesses. LVMPD homicide detective Grimmett and LVMPD crime scene analyst personnel that are not named. All right. Clothing. The body is clad. All right. Remember this. The body is clad. Gray t-shirt, jeans, shorts, gray underwear when presented for autopsy. Okay. All right. Now I want to go to Panik's autopsy. This one was done by Dr. Gavin. And how does she describe it? The body is received within a sealed body bag, which is opened on 10/6/2017, 16:25 hours. The body is identified. She goes through that. Is conducted in the presence of Detective Alsip Collin, crime scene analyst Fletcher of LVMPD, also present Special Agent Marriott and Special Agent Kwan of the FBI. Okay. So as you see there, that there is a full chain of custody. All right. The body is received within a sealed body bag. All right. Now the body is that of a well-developed male. Body is received clad. Okay. That means the clothes are on. This is the way it should happen. All right. Now let's take a look at Dr. Cornell. And you'll have to excuse me for having to scroll around, but these are not done. There's no template for this. Sometimes the what you would call the synopsis page is first, and then the rest is after that. Sometimes it's reversed, as this one is. Okay. All right. So the identification, the body is identified. Okay. By a toe tag on the right great toe bearing the name and case number, but it doesn't say it's sealed. Clothing. The body is unclad when initially viewed. Okay? All right. Now, witnesses assisting as a technician, Suzanne. There are no outside observers. Okay? No jurisdiction is cited. No chain of custody is evident. All right? All right. So let's go to, who is the next one? I think this is Dr. Sims. Pardon me, I have to go through all of this. Yes, Dr. Sims. Okay, let's go to his. Now, he, interestingly enough, and he's the only one that does this, he's got a disclaimer, which is kind of interesting, but unnecessary. Okay, date of the pronounced death is October 2nd, 2017. Autopsy is performed at 11:50 hours. So he doesn't even give us a time of death. He just gives us a date of pronounced death, which is kind of interesting. Okay, clothing. The body is received unclothed. Okay, naked. Paper identification bracelet is present on the right wrist. Now, I think I use this as the ID, although officially he doesn't say how he received the body in a body bag with the coroner's name or coroner's toe tag with the name and identification number on it. No, we don't get any of that. Okay? He just goes right into it. All right, the body is received unclothed. Let's keep that in mind. All right, this is Dr. Riccaro. This is his synopsis in the beginning of the manner of death. Okay, he gives us a date of death, and he gives us a date that he did the exam, but he gives us no time of death. Okay, the body was received sealed with a seal number along with the identification. Was that of a normally developed and nourished female? Okay, rigor mortis. Clothing was consistent of shirt, bra, and sock. Okay, so we don't know whether the body was clad or not, but we can see that there is a sealed body bag that comes with this with the identification tag on it. So that's how the body was identified. We have no outside observers. Okay, now this, like I say, I'm going to go through this quick. This is the diagnosis, so this is just the opinion. This talks about the gunshot wound, and then comes with manner of death, cause of death. Okay, so then this is the body of the report, the external exam, evidence of treatment. Okay, evidence of injury, gunshot wounds, etc. So this doesn't give us anything as far as witnesses. Doesn't give us anything. Well, it does. Take that back. Dr. Riccaro does give us jurisdiction, where Dr. Sims and Dr. Cornell do not. And let me see where that is. But he's not specific. About that. Hang on, just bear with me here. Okay. It is my opinion that death was caused by multiple gunshot wounds, chest and right, sustained from being shot during mass fatality incident. Remember this, mass fatality incident. Okay. We go to Dr. Uribe. He says, opinion. This is opinion. She was shot during a mass fatality incident at a concert venue. Now, let's keep that in mind. This is the summation page. All right, so the examination commences at 04:45 on October 4th. Okay, we don't have a date of death, nor do we have a time of death. The identification, the body is identified by a Clark County Office of the Coroner Medical Examination toe tag, but it does not say it's sealed. Okay, clothing at the time of the autopsy, the body is received with. All right, received with. So we really don't know whether that body is clad in clothes or not. No other information regarding anybody else, observers or witnesses. Okay. And we go to the last one, and this is Dr. Hodge. He gives us a time of a date, time and death. Date of death, time of death, date and time of autopsy. Okay. Clothing. The body is received unclad. Accompanying the decedent is the body, the jeans. Okay. Evidence of medical intervention, but no chain of evidence. Doesn't even say body bag here. Nothing. Okay, this is the autopsy final, and this is the description summary. All right. And this is where circumstances of the death or the jurisdiction the decedent was shot during a mass fatality incident. Okay, so this is what we got with these. Now, we got naked bodies. That was Dr. Corneal. The body is unclad. Oops. Dr. Sims. The body is unclothed. And Dr. Hodge. The body is received unclad. So that's 39 bodies that are naked. Okay. Dr. Marzouk is the only one that's specific about them being both of the bodies that he examines. The body is clad. The other one, I forget, autopsy 56 or 57 also says the same thing. Now, interestingly enough, there's also witnesses. It's all the same with his. He gives a reason for coroner jurisdiction. He gives the identification. He gives the witnesses, the same witnesses, and then the clothing. Now, what I'm thinking is that if they have to put someone on the witness stand, Dr. Marzouk's going to be the one they put up there, okay? And that's because of this, because of the witnesses, because of the identification, sealed body bag, and the clothing. The body is unclad. So he can go through this, be questioned and cross-examined by an attorney, and he can answer all the questions correctly. All right. Same thing with Lisa Gavin. Okay. Body is received within a sealed body bag. The autopsy is done in the presence. She's got witnesses, and it's received clad. Okay. So that's Panik's autopsy, and I just want to bring that to show that the only two who are consistent with the reason for the jurisdiction, the sealed body bag, the witnesses, and the decedent still being enclosed is Dr. Marzouk and Dr. Gavin. Okay, so that's 59 autopsies, and only two have all of that. The other 56 don't. All right. Okay. Now I talked about the jurisdiction, so we can go through that. Now, time of death. Let's go back to the Spreadsheet. Okay, we're going to look at date of death. Okay, that's here. Okay, so date of death, you see all these autopsy number with the doctor, the date of death. We've got 3. 1, 2, 3. Dr. Uribe doesn't even give us a date of death. Be interesting to get him on the witness stand and ask him about that, right? Okay, time of death. All right, here's what we got. Dr. Corneal, Dr. Marzouk, Dr. Hodge gives us a time of death. Dr. Riccaro, Dr. Sims, and Dr. Uribe do not give us a time of death. Okay, is that clear? So the numbers on that, no time of death for 32 of them and 26 with the time of death. Now, that's interestingly enough, the FIT report gives us a time of death for all 58 victims, but the autopsies do not. They only give us times of death for 26. So you gotta wonder about that, don't you? Gotta wonder. All right. And then, of course, we'll do date of the autopsy is given, time of the autopsies. We've got one doctor. Dr. Riccaro does not give us a time of the autopsies. He doesn't give us the time of death, nor does he give us time of autopsy. But he's the only one that does that. The other doctor who doesn't give us a time of death is Dr. Sims and Dr. Uribe. Okay, so just so everybody sees that, Dr. Uribe doesn't even give us a date of death. So those are his 3 there, and then we have Dr. Sims here. No time. And Dr. Riccaro. No time. And no time of autopsy. Okay? All right, moving along. All right, ballistics. Let's look at ballistics. All right, so here's what we got on ballistics. We've got, and mostly these were because of exit wounds, although we did see exit wounds where there was bullet fragments collected. But we've got no ballistics on 12, these 12, and we have ballistics on the rest of them. Okay? All right, now, other injuries, just an interesting stat. We've got other injuries for 21. Oh, no, I'm sorry, we don't have, we've got other injuries for 37 and no other injuries for 21. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic. If you want to go in and read some of those, it's pretty interesting what some of those other injuries are. Okay, now internal exams. I want to go to that. All right, so what we have are internal exams were not performed on 33 bodies. All right, this is the 33 here, and I can give you, let me see what I can do for you here to view that. All right, you can put that there. All right, now no, that's not where we want that. Bear with me here. I want you to see the doctor as well. Okay. All right, so we don't have internal injuries. All right, so as you can see here, we don't have not internal injuries, but internal exams for basically 33, or 2 from the top, 1, 2. Okay, so we basically got 33 bodies that didn't have internal exams. So that's not a complete autopsy. Okay, let's just face it, that's not a complete autopsy. So they really only did full autopsies on 33. That would be 25. All right, got that? All right, now I want to get into the rigor because that's pretty significant. All right, now I want to do the same thing for you again. I want to give you a split window so we can take a look at that. All right. So, it just so happens that the rigor mortis, and we have rigor mortis in 31 bodies. We have no rigor mortis or minimal rigor mortis in 27, and these are the 27, and they just so happen to be all of Dr. Roquero's bodies. He says they've passed. Of Dr. Sims, he has done 15 autopsies. 13 are either absent or minimal. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that are minimal, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are absent. So with this 14 and this 5, you've got 19 bodies that are absent or past, where rigor mortis is gone. Okay, no rigor mortis. All right, now let's do let's go back to this. Gotta take this window out. And now the rigor mortis, and this is per Dr. Rudd, and I've looked this up. I've looked it up several times, and it varies basically depending on, I think, who's talking and what the conditions are. But essentially, the hours after death when rigor mortis starts to set in is between 1 and 3. Okay, so then you add to that the hours it takes the body to get to full rigor mortis. Dr. Rudd said between 24 and 48 hours, and then hours to no rigor, which is basically then a receding of rigor mortis from full to none at all. So you add these up, and the minimum, it seems, would be 49 hours where they would be absent rigor mortis, and the maximum would be 75 hours. Okay, so you wouldn't expect, based on this chart, anyone that has been autopsied within 49 hours of death, you would not expect them to be in rigor mortis, or in rigor mortis, I'm sorry. You would expect anybody less than 49 hours dead to still be in rigor mortis. Okay, all right. So here's our hours to autopsy distribution right here. And let me do another split window for you. All right. Okay, so 13 hours, 14, 15, so on, down to 30. All right, so at 34 hours, we see our first body that's in minimal rigor mortis. Okay, and remember, it was 49 that should have been the soonest. All right, so then we see 2 that have been done within 36 hours. That's absent. 1 at 37 that's minimal. 1 at 38 is absent. We've got 2 41s that are minimal. 42 absent. 44 minimal. 58, 59 minimal. 60 passed, and 65 minimal. All right. Then, of course, we have Dr. Roquero, and because he does not give us a time of death nor a time of autopsy, we can't figure the hours. But interestingly enough, all of Dr. Roquero's 14 bodies have no rigor mortis. Okay? And we can't figure the times to the autopsy, from the time of death to the time of autopsy, because he doesn't give it. Okay, so now we have, this is Dr. Sims, and interestingly enough, these are the only 2 doctors who had bodies that were not in rigor mortis. He's got 5 where rigor mortis is absent, anywhere from 36 hours to 60 hours. And then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 where it's minimal, and that's anywhere from 34 hours to 65 hours. Are we starting to see an issue? Now let's go back to the hours to autopsy. And interestingly enough, we have two bodies that were the autopsy was done within 72 hours, and they're still in rigor mortis. We've got 62 and 64 still in rigor mortis. 53, 45 through 53 still in rigor mortis. Do you see the hour distribution and how strange that is? And what you're looking at is you're looking at two doctors. I'm sorry, but you're looking at two doctors. Okay. You're looking at Dr. Sims and Dr. Riccaro. Those are the only two. So you've got 19 bodies where there's no rigor mortis. You've got another 7 or 8 that rigor mortis is minimal, and it's only those two doctors. So 27 of the 58. That means 31 were in rigor mortis and 27 were in minimal or no rigor mortis. Now that's almost half. You would expect the distribution between the doctors to be more homogeneous, to be more spread out than what you have. But you only have two doctors, and one doctor, they're all in rigor mortis, every single one of them. Dr. Riccaro. Okay, these are his. All right. So what that means possibly is that these people died before October 1st. There's just no other way you can look at it. Okay, you got, because even if you look at, I mean, October 1st, this or time of death would have been midnight or so. All right, the soonest on October 1st, and you've got the 3rd, the 4th, the 3rd, the 4th, 3rd. Okay, so you've got anywhere from 36 to 48 hours here before the autopsies were done. Yet all of them, rigor mortis is passed. Now with Dr. Sims, and I want to tell you how I did this. Anytime that it was October 1st, any of his that were October 1st, I took midnight as the time of death, and that's how I figured it. Anytime that they were October 2nd, I used 5:45 in the morning, because that seemed to be the only time of death that they used for the second, with the exception of maybe one person. Okay, next I want to go to the fit time of death. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. So don't ask me how the fit report has time of death for all 58 victims and the autopsies don't. That's a question for Sheriff Lombardo or Funderburg the next time they do a news conference, if they do a news conference. Okay. Now, what do I want to do here? Oh yeah, I know what I want to do. I want to show you something. All right, this has got a very neat function called sort, and we want to do it by column F. All right, and then we want to do it for column G within F for the highlighted area. Okay. So now you see that all these people who died on October 1st, per the FIT report, all of them went to the hospital. All of them, okay? Now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people that time of death is at 10:30. Yet they were all taken to Sunrise Hospital. They were all pronounced dead at Sunrise Hospital. And I did a MapQuest, and Sunrise Hospital is between 12 and 16 minutes from the venue. So the question you got to ask yourself is, how soon did the ambulances get dispatched to the scene? How soon did the ambulances get to the body, check for a pulse, find out there's pulse, get the stretcher out, get them on a stretcher, get them loaded into the back of the ambulance, and get them transported to Sunrise Hospital? Could they do all of that in 15 minutes? Get them inside, stop the ambulance in front of the emergency room door, get them inside, get them off the stretcher onto a table, get a doctor in there to examine them and call the time of death 15 minutes after the purported shooting stopped. I don't think so. But this is what you got. Now you've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, 8 people that were pronounced dead by 11 o'clock, which is 45 minutes after the shooting, maybe a little bit more reasonable. Then you've got more people who died between 11 and 12 at the hospital. That's reasonable. Now you've got a few people that actually died at the hospital the next day on October 2nd, and one lasted to, and I didn't do a sort on this, but I guarantee you they were giving us numbers, the final numbers, before this person died and this person died. I can guarantee you they were giving us 58 or 59. Okay? And you see the amount who were all at the venue, and I've got that either inside the venue, 4 at the medical tent, 2 at Giles Street, 3 at the Desert Rose Resort, and then 1 at the Trop and 1 at Hooters. Okay? All right, now I want to go to, where is, I'm looking at number 6. Okay. This is Autopsy 6. This is your bonus question. I suggest that this was done by Mr. Sims. If we go down to page 5. All right, page 5. The right lateral neck demonstrates a curvilinear punctate abrasion. Okay. Now let's take a look at gunshot wounds. Okay. PathologyExpert.com. All right. All right. So the definitions of fouling, stripling, or margin of abrasion. Okay. For stippling, tattooing, unburned powder and debris causing punctate abrasions on target. Larger and heavier, so travels further, does not wipe off. Okay. So this is stippling. Okay. Stippling. Boom. Stippling. Boom. Range of fire, intermediate, 6 to 30 inches. Say that again, 6 to 30 inches. All right. Punctate abrasions. Let's go back to that. Whoop. Okay. The neck, the right lateral neck demonstrates a curvilinear punctate abrasion. All right. So, given that the punctate abrasion is under the stippling or tattooing, and under stippling it's intermediate range 6 to 30 inches. So I don't think it takes a genius to figure out that this person, one of two things: this person did not get shot by floor 32, or maybe they weren't at the concert at all. But it sure didn't come out of the Mandalay Bay on the 32nd floor if it was 6 to 30 inches. Okay, now I want to do another. All right, figures 3A. All right, and B. All right, give us is the term used to describe punctate abrasions from the impacting of unburnt grains of gunpowder on epithelial tissue. Tattooing has been recorded with distances as close as 1 centimeter and as far away as 100 centimeters. Okay? So I think room 32, 135 at the Mandalay Bay was further away than 100 centimeters. So that would indicate that this person, and we're not really really sure who this person is. Well, we are, but this person, the right lateral neck demonstrates a curvature punctate abrasion. This person was shot from up close. All right. And there's, if you look at the autopsies, you're going to find more of these situations. All right. All right. Now, I had one other thing. That was a bonus question. The Panik autopsy. I'm going to do that next. That's going to be the next one. Well, not the Panik autopsy. It's going to relate to the autopsy, but it's more of a broader view of something that I've been thinking about that's bothering me, and I want to present it to everybody. So it's going to include the autopsy, and I'll give you some hints. This is for extra credit. Panik autopsy. There are 3 issues in that autopsy that you need to be cognizant of. There's a 4th issue surrounding Panik, and that was revealed in the Bruce Panik interview. Okay. But it relates to the autopsy. All right. Okay. So in summation, we've got incomplete autopsies. I think you can call it sloppy, or you can call it malpractice or malfeasance. I think which is what I think Dr. Rudd finally mentioned in the interview on Jason's channel. But let's go through this real quick and wrap this up. Okay. So we got. No diagrams, no pictures, no x-rays, no histology, no dates of birth, no ballistics, no consistency of format, chain of custody problems, no seals and bodies were naked, no internal exams on 33, all had at least one no internal exam, all doctors, sorry about that, all pathologists. Rigor Mortis issues, 27 had minimal or no rigor, and those were all Dr. Sims and Dr. Riccaro. Date of death missing, 3, Dr. Uribe. Time of death missing, 32, Dr. Uribe, Dr. Sims, and Dr. Riccaro. Time of the autopsy missing, Dr. Riccaro. Duration of autopsies, this one's just unbelievable. At least 30 were performed in less than 90 minutes, and of those 30, 21 were performed in less than an hour, and of those 21, 6 were performed in less than 30 minutes. Oh my. Okay, all autopsies signed on the same day, December 20th, except one that was signed on December 27th, 2017. Okay, I've taken up enough of your time with this presentation. I will wrap it up here, and the next one I'm going to do is going to be about Panik, so that one should be interesting. Hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you later.